Hi everyone, it's Suey. Today I want to talk about something that I've been thinking about lately, and that is, should we read memoirs and believe them? Are they true? In July, my book club has started a tradition of calling it Memoir Month and picking our own memoirs to read and then sharing them with each other. So I've just read I've read one for book club, and then earlier in June I finished reading Spare, which we will talk about at our book club in November. And then I started reading a BTS memoir about the Korean K-pop band. And I can't remember if I've read some others this year or not, but I've seen some things in the last week or couple of weeks. I've seen some comments, I've seen some discussions that have made me wonder why we even read memoirs. Because it appears that people will read a memoir and then decide for themselves whether that person was telling the truth or not. I guess I am just enough of a believing person that when I read a memoir, I tend to believe that the person is telling their story truthfully, that it's really what happened. Of course, I know that especially in memoirs, there's a lot of leeway about the actual specifics of an event. I was just looking at something up to see what people have said about this, and they use the word emotional truth, and that a memoir, while not being factually true on specific detail, it would be emotionally true, which I totally believe. But I feel like this past couple of weeks with some of these books that I've been reading, people are accusing them of complete and total lies. So for example, when I did my review of Spare, there were some comments that said that they think that Prince Harry is flat out lying. And I'm like, well, so why do people even read it if they think he's lying? I guess they want to know what lies he's saying. I don't know. The whole story fascinates people anyway, right? And then the BTS book came out, and I saw comments online where people were saying that they weren't telling the truth there. That one I didn't jump into the discussion or delve deeper to see what people were talking about. But it seemed like people were upset about how some incidences and some things were portrayed. And so they were saying that they were lying. I don't know if it was fans that were upset with the truth, or, the truth if you believe the book, or if it was anti-fans saying that they're not telling the truth. I'm not even exactly sure who was saying this, but those two things came close enough together. Plus I was reading my memoir for our book club, and it made me think, why do we even read memoirs? Do we go into a memoir reading it believing that we're reading a true story? Or do we go into a memoir thinking that this is somebody's fictional portrayal of an incident in their life? So I was wondering what you guys all thought. And I was wondering how you approach reading a memoir. First of all, if you are a memoir reader, and if you are, do you read them thinking in your head as you're reading them that this is a true story and that you believe what they're saying? Or do you read it with a grain of salt, thinking that this is maybe partially what might have happened to them? Or maybe they're embellishing a lot or embellishing a little? Or what are your feelings about that? And why are memoirs so popular? I feel like they are often on the best-selling list and often some of the most popular books of the year. And we're drawn to them for a reason. I guess we resonate with people's stories, whether they're true or whether they're not. And we can relate to what people are experiencing. I guess I am one that tends to believe that what people are writing about is how they perceive their story, which for the most part will be true. Really what happened, right? Like I said, maybe details, they might remember details differently or specifics differently, but the essential story is the true story. Anyway, I find that interesting that that's all been something that I've been seeing lately. I was thinking about this, and I remember years ago when Oprah had that dude, that author of A Million Little Pieces. Do you remember this? And he totally talked about his story, and then later on, he admitted that he made most of it up. And so now it's marketed as a sort of memoir, a sort of a fictional memoir. And so I wonder if that's made people be a little more skeptical with memoirs. And I'm sure that there have been other stories like that. I'm not familiar with what other memoirs people have discovered haven't been true. I just wanted to find out what you guys thought about it. If you are a memoir reader, and do you believe what you're reading? Or do you read it and then go, oh, they were just full of it and they were totally lying? Or do you pick and choose, depending on if you're liking the person or not? That's my little thought video for the day, and I will be interested to know what you guys think, and I would love for a discussion, a little banter with Suey here down in the comments. So please let me know what you think. Let's talk. In the meantime, happy reading.